Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. 11 o'clock. Time to set things in gear. Glad you're all here. Oh, my goodness gracious. Is there anybody visiting for their very, very, very first time? I know two over here. Welcome, you guys. We hope you like what you hear, what you see. Hope you come back. Anybody else back here? Right over there. Now, that's Tammy, if you guys want to know. Famous Tammy.
Famous Tammy. Jack and Sadie.
Jack and Sadie. Well, we've seen her before in another place in time. We'll talk about that sometime. Well, welcome to this place. There's no like other place like this, you know. There's several places in town you can go to on a Sunday morning, but this is Salem's first, finest, and foremost Center for Spiritual Living. How do you like that for a title? Center for Spiritual Living. So welcome. You know, we have good music here. We have all kinds of good things here. You came at the right morning. This is the morning that Julie, Reverend Julie, is going to give us a lowdown on how to use it. Ooh, how to use it. Anything could be better. It can't be. You know, there's a list here that they give me to read about announcements and so on. Well, one important announcement, potluck today, right? Potluck today. If you didn't bring anything, we got plenty. Come on down right after service and we'll feed you. And there's something to drink too, so don't worry about that. So the workshop is going to finish up today. Our practitioner Cheryl O has been starting something last Sunday that really set in gear, something we have to finish out today. So part 2, it's called. It's going to meet in the library at 1 o'clock for all you who were here last Sunday. Let's get together again. Release the burden. Drop the grudge. How's that sound? Sounds good. Okay. And you know, we like to use this idea where we say it's time to get lit up. Lit up stands for living intentionally today. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's a discussion group that's going to meet again this Wednesday. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. And it says here, join us as we discuss the challenges currently haunting us. Focus on how to use spiritual principles in our daily lives, and share, feel supported. Julie has gone twice now, Reverend Julie, and she gives me a report back and talks about it, and she has just says, I wish I lived closer to you guys. I'd love to be there every time you meet, but I'm going to try to catch that too, this next one. Okay, now, I always have soup for the soul. You know, you got to come back on February 15th. No, actually, that's the third Sunday, yes, February 15th. We have the annual business meeting going on. So after the soup for the soul, we'll have some business taken care of. It won't take long, and it'll be interesting. We have our board president, Sue, back there hiding. She's going to kind of kick it in gear for us and get through things and kind of put a slant on this thing that makes you feel like it's really good. Okay, you know, we'd like to take a moment before we get into some music. And I forgot my glasses. I wanted to read something to you. Any kind of reading glasses. Look at this. This Jeff is always prepared. You know, 20 years ago, Jeff put a deck in our house and a fence, and you know what's still standing? Yeah. I've got him here.
I know, but you will need them.
Oh.
Eventually.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Shannon.
Those are prettier than mine. Those are for girls. These are for guys.
Oh, well, that's all right. I don't mind. The feminine side in me is going to come out here. Okay. No, seriously, this is a time that we can really make a difference in the atmosphere of this country. It's called Just Pray. And you know, Dr. Ernest Holmes created a prayer called My Prayer for My Country. And Reverend Julie and I would like to read this for you this morning. Believing in the divine destiny of the United States of America, and in the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression for all, I offer this, my prayer for my country. 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 I offer this I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs.
And I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and are the divine heritage of everyone in this country. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country.
And I know that success, and prosperity, and happiness are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country. And I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression.
I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. The all-knowing mind contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed by this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem. Each is compelled to act upon the knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. And I know that the spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. And I hold also for our state, our community, and our church. There is peace, happiness, and self-expression, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is, right. Okay, thank you. Let's have some music. What do you say?
You guys want to stand? If you want to stand, you don't have to.
This song, Pete Seeger, written in 1949.
I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the
morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
If I had a
Bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over
if I had a song,
I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
I got a hammer,
And I've got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's the song of love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
it's the hammer of justice.
It's the bell of freedom.
May the Lord tide sun shine upon you. All surround you. And the pure within you. Guide your May the Lord tide sun shine upon you. All surrounds you. And the pure within you. Guide
Good morning. Let's all just take a deep breath and feel yourself aligned with the spirit that is within you, that spirit that is always present, that is always you, that is your eternal connection to that one power, that energy that is what we call God, what we call spirit, what could be called Buddha, could be called all different names, all different religions, but we all know that it is all just one power. And it's done unto us according to our belief. What we believe is how our life unfolds. We have the power within us to create the life that we desire, that it is within us, that it is the truth of our existence. And knowing this, I just believe that I will just walk through this life with love and joy and peace and serenity in my heart, knowing that I stay in alignment with myself and with others when I see the truth of who I am. And so knowing this, my heart is so full of gratitude for all of those that are present today, all of the newness and all of the wonder that we are experiencing in this day, because every day is a new adventure, a new way to live our lives, a new way to express who we are. And so knowing this, my heart and my gratitude is all just one. I am so filled with that beautiful peace and presence that is God. So now I just release my word to the law, knowing that everything unfolds according to how I believe. And today I believe in peace. I believe in serenity. And I believe in love. So if this resonates with you, would you please join me in saying, "And so it is." Amen. Now we have an affirmation for the day. It's in your program. Would you please read it with me? It's in blue, beginning, "As I align myself with the spirit of truth, I am guided. My life reflects this new way of thinking, and greater good manifest in my life." And so it is.
Good morning. Embrace and be embraced is the title of today's reading. And it starts out with a little quote by Sonober Calm, who wrote a book called 1,000 Flamingos. And it goes like this: "I had embraced you long before I hugged you." And Ernest Holmes had this to say: "When love's activity is no longer confined to the littleness that restricts, but extends to everything and everyone, then shall we hear its song sung throughout the circuits of our lives. And the writer of today's piece continues, we can easily look up the definition of embrace and know that it means to accept, hug, hold, enclose, or envelop something, whether an idea, an opportunity, or a person, willingly or enthusiastically. When you are embraced by someone you love, what does it feel like deep inside your soul? When a pet, in its own way, embraces you, what is that feeling at the core of your being? Fajita, sit. To embrace and be embraced is more than just hugging. It is experiential oneness. It is the feeling of being at home. God with God, love with love. Today we begin our exploration of embracing possibility. And for now, I invite you to consider all the ways we embrace and are embraced by the magnificence of this thing called life. Does your morning cup of tea or coffee embrace you? Does the bird song late in the day embrace you? Do you embrace the meal that nourishes you? Offering gratitude for all the people who made it possible. Music, art, prayer, dance, theater, poetry, and so much more swirl around us daily in countless ways. They are right here to embrace our bodies, minds, hearts, and souls, to invite us into the space of fully embodying the divine, the ultimate embrace. As Ernest Holmes put it, how important it is that each one of us, in our own simple way, shall live from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other. And a little extra affirmation today. I am the holy embrace of the universe from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other.
You're welcome to join with us on this one too. Is this on? I think so. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Wow. You know, this month is the month we celebrate Martin Luther King and his work. And I just invite you guys to, when you go home, to look up his I Have a Dream speech. I don't know that there's another speech ever that has moved me like that one. And it never fails to move me. And it never fails to be relevant. It never fails to be relevant. And this, we shall overcome. I have a dream. I have a dream that we shall overcome and all be one. You know, it's a possibility, but it is work for all of us. All of this is a possibility. Everything like that exists as a possibility. And it begins with each one of us, I guess. And I get that's what Centers for Spiritual Living is all about, what this center is all about, is personal transformation, so that we really can embody all of these things, that we are one. So invite you to go home and look that up and listen to that speech, and then totally be inspired, and tears too, probably. So this wasn't my talk today, although you probably thought it was. So what we're talking about today is the fourth in a series of the first 4 chapters of Ernest Holmes' book, The Science of Mind, that is the basis of what we teach. And we do this every year on some format. And I realized how important it was. I know my husband always says, oh, I've heard this like 30 years. And I said, but you still don't get it, do you? I know, poor guy. No, he is so good, and he's very supportive, and he does get it. I mean, there's more to get, of course. But the reason I realized how important this was is because I've talked to several of you during the week and everything that says, I really love it here. I don't know what we believe or what you teach. I just like it here. So, you know, it's. I always think it's a good idea to know, you know, what you're doing and who these people are and what they think. So this is why we do the 4 parts every year, and this is the last one. How to use it. It's about understanding. Today I'm really talking about how to understand that there's a power in us that's a divine power, and it empowers our life, and we can use it. And we can use it. And Ernest Holmes said, put it this way: first, we recognize that we are surrounded by a field of intelligence that is ready and willing to take form according to our belief. Now, we could get into the science of that, and what's wonderful, and I've said this before because there's nothing so heartwarming as to be proved right, is that, you know, quantum science does support all these beliefs that are universal beliefs throughout the centuries, and we'll get to that in the end. But that is this field of intelligence, this field of energies. And that second, that understanding that this force or law of mind, as Ernest Holmes calls it, works by working through us. It doesn't come to us, which it seems like in this world that things happen to us and come to us, but it comes through us. And 3, there is one life back of everything that lives. There's one energy back of everything. And we are part of that. Love and good are infinite qualities, are infinite potentials, and they're here for each one of us to the degree that we can embody them. If it's to be, it's up to you and me. And a point is, as much as you and I can accept, you see, it's not about that it's only for some people, the privileged. This good, this divine love is for all of us. For all of us. To the degree that we're willing to accept it and embody it. And this universal wisdom is poured out over us all ready for waiting for us to receive. And it's interesting in this workshop of Cheryl's that I knew it was going to be good. And I was going over the materials all this week, and it was like, wow, there is a lot here. There is a lot here. They're ready to receive this, but sometimes we block our own good, don't we? And in this workshop, she's looking at resentments and all that, and how delightful they are sometimes. You know, I've got some that, as I was pondering, I realized I could go back, ones that I didn't even know I had as I was working through this workbook. But it was interesting. I went all the way back to high school, and there was something, and I thought, there was something that happened that prevents me from something that happened last week. It was so interesting, you guys. So it's all here for us. This energy, this love, this wisdom, it's not for just one person. It's here for all of us, waiting for us to receive. And sometimes we do block it. But we've got all the tools. We've got all the tools, the prayers, the meditation, the classes, the workshops that help us to release anything that is preventing us from receiving our good, our love, experiencing our love. So each state of consciousness taps the same source, but we all have a different receptivity. And each receives what we ask for according to our ability to receive and to be responsible for that. Which brings me to a story about a minister. And I really debated on telling the story, and because I wasn't sure it was entirely fit for Sunday. And I was telling my husband on the way down, and he said, well, if you have any doubts, don't do it. And I said, you're right, that is a great principle, and I'm going to do it anyway, but so forgive me. So ministers talk, just like everybody else. And so this minister, I heard this story from a minister about another minister, not about himself, who rode his bike to church every day and rode to work every day. And so lots of people in Portland do that. It's a very bike riding city. So, and one day he went to get his bike and it was gone, which also happens sometimes. And he knew that the only people who had been there that day were people from his congregation. And so he called the deacon up and he said, you know what, this Sunday I'm going to give a lesson on the 10 Commandments. And when we get to the commandment, thou shalt not steal, I want you to look out over the audience and see who looks guilty. And then come tell me. So on Sunday, he's given his talk on the 10 Commandments, and the deacon gets up there really to start looking for what's guilty. But before he got to the thou shalt not steal, he stopped his sermon on the 10 Commandments. And the deacon came up afterwards, and he said, you didn't get to thou shalt not steal, and I was all ready to look out over the audience. And the minister said, well, when I got to the part that said thou shalt not commit adultery, I remember where I left my bike. Now, I know I debated, I really did, but it has a point. God, I know, the whole world is going. But it reminded me, that story reminded me of how so often we put the blame out there. See, I could tie that in. And the power out there. When the quality of our lives is a reflection of what's in here. It truly is. As much as sometimes it seems like it's not. And how much, again, we can receive is dependent on our beliefs. Our thoughts and beliefs form this pattern through this divine energy, moves in and through as a creative process. And so life can be really glorious. Yesterday was a bright, sunny day. Wasn't it wonderful? And my husband and I went for a walk, and all these people are out walking. We have a lot of paths around where we live, and everything was just so enjoyable. And then also life can throw us a loop, can't it? We can't control over the losses that we have. Last year, my best friend's daughter lost her baby to SIDS, and there's no answer to why. There's no answer to why. Beautiful nature can also turn harsh with floods and fires and destruction. And I'm not trying to be a downer. What I'm trying to say is we have to look at life realistically. And one of the things in our teaching, we understand that through prayer and changing our thinking, we can control our experience. And so sometimes when the experience out there is something we cannot control, and there are things we cannot control. We can't control our losses of people we love. We can't control everything. But what happens, I've noticed, is in this teaching, we often get guilty. What's wrong with me, my consciousness, that I can't? But to have a compassion for the fact that it's a journey and it's not always easy. But it is possible. Because the point of power is always inside of us, even when we can't see the next step. So whatever you and I have in our desires for the next step, for what we want, where we're going, what needs to happen in our life, there is something within us that knows what to do, how to do it. It knows what to do and how to do it. And sometimes, again, that is letting go of the control of how we want it to happen. Because that tight control can really prevent things, can't it? I know what I want, and this is what I want, and I know it's good. But maybe there is something better for us if we can just let go of that. And this is where faith comes in, and patience. And you guys, there's nothing worse, is there? Well, there are worse, sorry. But there is really hard to sit in the unknown, where you don't know what's going to happen or where you're going to be, but you're waiting for it, but you don't know. It's hard. But to hold that there is a power in you and through you that does know, that absolutely does know your next step and what it should be. Because this is a true story. I love it. In Texas, there's an area, and this happens frequently, I think, where but this is something that happened in one particular time. There was a drought for 7 years, and you know the earth, if you've ever seen dry areas, if you not here, obviously, but if you've ever been in an area where it gets really dry, and the ground will crack, it will just get so dry, and dust blows away, and there's no life whatsoever. You can't see any life whatsoever. And after 7 years, the rains came, and they deluged, like, for 24 hours, I think 7 inches of rain, they said, came down. And then the sun came out and just warmed all this up. And then it rained again, and the sun came out. And then all of a sudden, these bluebonnets, which I don't know if that's the state flower or what of Texas. Thank you, Cheryl. The state flower just popped up. The whole area was covered with these bluebonnets. And where did they come from? You know, nobody planted them. Nobody planted them. But the seed had been there all this time. The seed had been there all this time and waiting to be nourished. And that is true for us too. That is absolutely true for us too. If there's something in our life that has not yet unfolded, as we nourish our life in all the ways that we know to do and even ways we don't yet know to do, that seed can begin to bloom where we didn't even know it was. So, and this isn't new. This isn't new information, guys. So just hang on. This is going to be academic. So Way back in 367, Bishop Athanasius, who was the bishop of Alexandria, Egypt, he was a great theologian and also a great fighter of beliefs that were opposed to his, which we won't have to go into his beliefs. But he's better known as St. Athanasius, but I don't acknowledge the saint part for my own personal reasons. But Athanasius, this is a side, sorry, we didn't need that. But what he did is he sent out a letter to all the churches, particularly those places that were teaching what he thought was heresy, that they had to get rid of, burn, destroy certain books that taught certain things. And a lot of them were, not all of them, but a lot of them were what we call Gnostic teaching, because they were evil, and if you read them, evil would come to you, and they were just all wrong. So this nearby monastery loved the teaching, loved the books, and they weren't about to destroy them. So they put them in these jars, and they hid them in a cave. So fast forward centuries to 1945. Some Egyptian peasant brothers were out looking for fertilizer for their gardens and unearthed these jars. And you can imagine the excitement around this. They'd been hidden. And there were teachings that went back to the first century. And so one of the things that was important about these for scholars is that they showed, and well, for all of us, that the early Christianity, there was many ways of thinking until someone with power managed to kind of shut that down. But one of the Gospels in there was the Gospel of Thomas. Are you guys going to be with me for this? I know. It is really interesting, and I've got all of them right there if any of you really are curious about reading them. So I see a lot of lively faces on that one. But anyway, the Gospel of Thomas, which is a sayings gospel. And it's kind of like where we have sayings that we save or quotes, you know. It's not a story, it's not a narrative, it's sayings. And Cornelius Pagels, who wrote the definitive book on the Gnostic Gospels, said this about the Gospel of Thomas. In it, Jesus reveals the kingdom of God is not an actual place in the sky or any place else or an event expected in human time. It's a state of being. This is from these Gospels that were unearthed. We may enter when we know who we are and come to know God as the source of our being. Thomas said the good news is not only about Jesus himself, but about it being in every single one of us. And that we recognize, and this is in there, and I love this particular gospel, that it's in all of us, and we are all related. We are like one family. And when we can get that, there's a divine light, and oh my God, this is my favorite quote. There's a divine light in creation that's hidden deep within each one of us, linking ourselves to our source. You see, we can't be separated by anything. We can believe we're separated. We can act as if we're separated, but we can't be, because it is who we are. It's the life force in us. And some of my teachings earlier had to go to confession because I was separated. And there were books to tell me how I was separated. There were lots of ways to get in trouble. So I love this, another way of looking at it, that we cannot be separated. There's a light deep hidden within us, and it says, when we find that, it will illuminate the world. It will illuminate the world. And this is, he says, people are the way we are because we've forgotten where we come from and who we are. This is ancient wisdom. He writes, and these are the words supposed to be quotes from Jesus. There are hidden words that the living Jesus spoke, and Didymus Judas Thomas wrote them down. And he said, whoever finds meaning in his words will not taste death. And Jesus said, the one who seeks shall not cease seeking until he finds. And when he finds, he will be dismayed. And when he is dismayed, he will be astonished. And he will be king over all. And Jesus said, if those who lead you say to you, look for the kingdom in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. And if they say, look in the ocean, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside you and outside you. When we come to know ourselves, then you will be known and you will realize that you are the children of the living Father. But if we do not come to know ourselves, then we exist in poverty. So generations after generations, we have to be reminded that the flame, this divine spark, you guys, this divine spark is within each one of us. And when we discover it and release it, it illuminates. It illuminates. Have you ever been around somebody that just is that way? You can feel it. You can feel the energy. You can almost see the light around them. And if each one of us releases that within us, the world can be illumined. And this is our work in Centers to Spiritual Living. So this flame, this spark of divinity in us, this knowing, all-loving presence, which can soothe our wounds, guys, guide our steps, awaken our hearts, and we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to do anything. It is, I used to think I had to do this and do that and work at this and work at that. It's already there, so there is nothing to do except to recognize and let it be. We have the key. We have our spiritual practices. We have wisdom teachings. And most of all, here's what I believe. And I have based so much of my life on it because I always need a lot of help. Ask and you shall receive. Namaste.
I am free, I am unlimited. Goes right along. The song is in your program too, so I'm sure you'll want to join along. It's easy and catchy. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I'm unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I'm unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free and unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I'm unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I'm unlimited. Right here, right now. I am free, I'm unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. Right now. Right now.
We are free, we are unlimited, and this is our special time where we prove that. We know that what we have in our hearts that we're willing to give is just what we've received. It's a wonderful cycle of wonders. Julie, thanks a lot for that message. Wow, I mean, that was just, yeah. There's no words that I can say, no words that bind me. Well, if you look in your program, there's an affirmation. And that affirmation has to do with your heart song that says, I'm part of something great and a community that loves me, supports me, wants me here. And I'm going back. And I'm going to support that community. I'm going to support it with me, my body, my voice, and my time, talent, and treasure. It's just a wonderful way to do this. On the program, if you notice a little box there that's got all those wiggly things in it, you can just use your cell phone and you can make an offering through that if you wish today. Just take a look at it. You'll do that. Or we're going to have the offering plates come around. Put your heart in there. Put your intention. Put your love. Put your support. We accept it. We love it. We appreciate you. So let us sing as we do our thing, okay?
I'm gonna do what the Spirit says do.
I'm gonna do what the Spirit says do. I'm gonna do what the Spirit gonna do, Lord, Lord. I'm gonna do what the Spirit says do.
I'm gonna receive
What the Spirit says receive. I'm gonna speak what the Spirit says receive. What the Spirit says receive. Receive, Lord, Lord. Receive what the Spirit says.
I'm gonna pray when the Spirit
Says pray.
I'm gonna
Pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm when the Spirit says pray. Lord, pray, Lord, Lord. Pray when the
Spirit says pray. Now, if you look in your offering, look in your program, see where it says offering affirmation? Let's just read that together, okay? It's powerful. Starts with divine. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. You have just said the blessing.
I just have to do one plug, if I could, Don. Cheryl printed this lovely February talks, and now that you all know what we believe and think around here, those of you who might not have known, in January, 1st of February, I was looking at the topics for the rest of February. Wow, they sound really fantastic. Out on the Skinny Branches next week with Cheryl. So really look forward to see what that is. So, yeah, thank you for letting me plug
That's
that.
wonderful. Okay. Okay, so why don't we say our blessing upon ourselves, that prayer of protection we call it. It's in your program. Stand, and let's just do that right now. It starts out. Light of God. Light
Yeah,
of God.
surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us.
Sing ourselves out.
Hello, hello, hello.